Hello and welcome to another episode of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF. Joined as always by my main man at FF Snoog. And that's not Brock in the host chair. That's Sean T Owens, the trade coordinator himself. Sean, welcome back to the show. Glad you could jump on with us.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Happy to be here.
Hey, we're going to have a lot of good energy today. I mean, Snoog and I, honestly, this week, I think we pumped out about 15 YouTube shows. We've been doing things in the Discord. I'm more excited than ever, Snoog, because everything's ramping up with these roster reviews, with the trade shows. It's been a great week.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I mean, Trade Show Tuesday, can't beat that. Getting ready to talk prospects. We got Sean on here in a couple leagues with Sean himself. So I'm excited for this. We're going to talk about a lot of these different trades. We got people from the Discord mixed in there with some Twitter guys. So going to see a large variety of things. I haven't seen what the show looks like. I'm expecting a lot of rookie picks, you know, with us being a month and a half away from rookie drafts. So I'm excited to dive into this.
Yo, I got my Bono shirt on today. And guys, the drink of choice tonight, we're going with a Ghost America Pop, baby. You saw even a little bit of that splashed up. I'm ready to roll. We got a super chat before it even starts. You know, it's Trade Show Tuesday. Sean's like, let's get the dark green out. That's popping. Let's hit this first super chat and let's jump right into the show.
All right, baby, let's go. I'm not even going to try to guess it, but Newsy, we got a super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Rebuild, how much on top of a random 27 first? He's thinking mid to late. Do I need to part with Trayvon Henderson or should he just roll with Trayvon?
Snoog and I are going to be on different sides of the fence here, I'm pretty sure. If it's mid, I want a mid first over Trayvon Henderson. And honestly, I mean, I know we had a solid rookie season. If it's late, give me a little bit on top. You know, you throw me a Tyler Algier, a Rico Dowdle, something that's going to be Bashal Tootin, something that's in that second round range. I would be willing to part with the late, but I'm taking the mid over Hendo. I prefer Hendo over a late, but if it's late, give me something a little bit more like a Swift, a Tootin, something like that, and I'm going to get it done. But I'm selling a lot of my shares of Trayvon Henderson right now, and not actively, but if the deal's right, I'm taking it. And I think 27 firsts are going to get you a better opportunity.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably valued in that mid 27 range. I would want a Kamara, a Swift, someone in that range that I can kind of make this insulated move with and get a starter back if I'm doing this type of trade. And if I'm rebuilding, give me that 27 second on top of the first to get it done. But he's probably worth still like two very late firsts or like a top 6-ish first, more so on the later side for me. 900 plus yards rushing, 10 plus touchdowns rushing. You know, he had a really, really good rookie season for the very minimal amount of snap shares that he played with. He could blow up next year, no problem.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. We got a super chat in here from Sub Logistics Services. I do not see a question there. If anybody sees that at any point here, or
just send one in the general chat.
Oh, there we go, right underneath.
So his question here, thanks for the super chat sub. What should I throw on top of Tet for Jefferson, or should he hold on to T-Mac?
I think if you're going to do it, I would not even pay a first to move up from Tet to Jefferson, which is going to be very counterintuitive of what we're going to talk about in my other trade here a little bit later. But, I mean, I think Tet in a late first is fair for Jefferson. I think if you're all in and you really feel like Jefferson, I mean, if Kyler Murray, who got released today, goes to the Vikings, hurrah, like this is going to be fantastic, right? Or there's a lot of different rumors floating around out there right now of like people going, different veterans trying to come to Minnesota. As of right now, though, I'm not there yet. You know, like Snoog, help me on this one because I have a hard time. I mean, I keep believing all the what ifs of Justin Jefferson, but I have a hard time pulling the trigger, trading up to get him right now.
Yeah, I think the value is probably a very late first gap. I don't want to pay that, though. I think buying Justin Jefferson right now, the whole point of buying him is getting him at a discount. Maybe you have something sitting in that 203 to 205 range or like 201 to 203 in this year's class that you can throw on top of Tet to try to get it done and buy at a discount. But he's still one of the best wide receivers I've ever watched entering his prime at like 26 years old. There's nobody that's a better buy in Dynasty than him right now. They're likely bringing in a QB, whether it's Kyler, Jacoby Brissett, friggin' I don't know who, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I think literally anybody other than JJ McCarthy is going to make him like a 1,500-yard receiver again in this offense. Just get him like a Flacco. Like, it's not that hard. Get him something where this offense can move and, run in rhythm, and they'll be a playoff team. Like the roster is good. So they need to be competitive in this division with the roster they have. So I think they're going to get something done. But I'd say it's an early second that I'd want to
early second, I'd be willing to do it, but that's about it. So, all right, without further ado, guys, with our super chats tonight, we are going to give away a VIP Patreons at 5, 10, 15, and 20, or 5, 10, and 15. We hit 20 again. If you guys haven't tuned in yet, every Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we're doing roster reviews. If your roster is in need of some repair, if you're trying to rebuild, if you're trying to go all in, we are going to give away a roster review. Right now, that is a $60 value. We're going to give that away if we hit that 20. So we're going to be throwing it back at you. If you're new to the show, this is literally what we do. We come out, we assess trades, we throw it back in there. We're all about the community, trying to have fun, help you guys have better dynasty teams and make better dynasty trades. So, Sean, you're the coordinator, you're the trade guy. Let's get it going.
All right, let's get it. Trade one. Ross Devereaux from the Discord. Would you rather have Amon-Ra St. Brown or George Pickens come back to the Cowboys in a random, probably late 27 first? Snoog, what do you think here?
That's a cowbell insulated move, in my opinion. You get another top 10 to 12 guy. You get a 27 first attached to it in a stack class. I think this is the best process you can be doing right now in all your dynasty leagues right now. It's like, say you have a CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra and Jamar Chase, right? Stacked, but everything else is thin, which there's a lot of teams doing roster reviews on the last show last night between Dad and I. We went through a bunch of teams. There was a lot of teams, wide receiver heavy with very thin rest of the roster. Go get a 27 first attached and tear down slightly. Get another stud who still can put up 12 to 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns like you did last year with the Cowboys.
I mean, I believe Amon-Ra finished, wide receiver 2 or 3 last year. George Pickens was wide receiver 6. So if you're taking this, and I think what you got to look at is George Pickens is younger than Amon-Ra. You have a guy that's putting up similar type production, and then you get a free first. And this is random to late. So if it's late, I think this is a fair trade, right? If this ends up being George Pickens and Nate Frazier, I feel like you're fine, right? If this ends up in those random to lates, Sean, we know those random to lates sometimes turn into random to mid or random to early because you can't predict fantasy football in a lot of ways. All you can do is, and the biggest thing that we've been doing is finding success in insulating, because now I have these two pieces. Now I have an opportunity, right? Amon-Ra goes down to injury. You got to trade him and hopefully get the best you can, or at this point, get Pickens, gets 85 to 95% of the production and a first on top. I think this is a smash.
Yeah, I agree there. Trade 2, Chesty LaRue from the Discord. Would you rather have Omarion Hampton or Skattebo in a late 27 first, Dad? What do you think?
Same kind of thing here. I mean, I mentioned this, I think, on the Discord. I mentioned it last night on the live. I am selling Cam Skattebo everywhere I can, not because I don't believe in the player, but I believe in this process right now. Is if you take Cam Skattebo, and they're talking about Walker going there, they're talking about them taking Jeremiah Love if he falls to 5. If Jeremiah Love goes to the Giants, like this is that scenario, you're not going to pass on him if you can get him. If he goes there, Cam Skattebo becomes not even a 1B. He becomes David Montgomery if he's at best, right?
Yeah.
And that's a guy that's worth the 205 to 210. And right now his value is 106, 107. And this is the process, as I say to everybody, trade him now, because after they don't draft him, his value is not going to change. Like Cam Skattebo is not miraculously going to be like, oh, he avoided competition, he's going to move up to the 102. Like he's not going to increase in value. So I would much rather have Omarion Hampton even before that rumor was in there. Now that you throw this rumor in there, I think this is an absolute smash accept, and I'm breaking out the cowbell for it. Snoog, you're a bigger Skattebo guy than I am, but I feel like this trade value is right on. But if he gets any competition, you kill it.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Hampton side as well. I think, 22 years old, first-round draft capital tied to this Chargers offense with McDaniels. It's just, if you can guarantee me, this is a trade that I would want to make post-draft, right? Because I think either way you can get this trade done. So why not wait, right? Wait and see. And if Skattebo gets no competition, I think this is a home run insulated move. I love Hampton this year, though. I'm going to be really, really high on him. He's probably going to be like a top 5 to 6 running back in my rankings for redraft. Like, I think he's going to have a massive season in this offense. He had posted an 11% target share, projected 250 plus touches next year. Like, he's going to do a lot of good things in this offense with McDaniels.
All right, we got a super chat. Matty Stew 8, thank you for the super chat. Would you rather have Trevor Lawrence and JSN or Lamar Jefferson and the new Houston Texans, David Montgomery?
Yo, take the news here of David Montgomery and Adam to, Lamar and Jeff. Oh, whoa. I misread that.
Lamar.
Wow,
Jefferson
that's Lamar and Jefferson. Wow. Yeah, because I was looking at this at first. I mean, I have Lamar and JSN equal. I think Trevor Lawrence and Jefferson are very close, but you almost have to take the Lamar Jefferson side. I love JSN. I love Trevor Lawrence. I misread this at first. For me, I'm taking the right-hand side, and I'm not even thinking about it. Monty is a quick flip, though, for me. I know everybody's got to go crazy thinking David Montgomery is going to be Joe Mixon from 2 years ago, but that offensive line was ranked 31st and 32nd. Yeah. David Montgomery's 29. David Montgomery has not been great. Like if you're expecting David Montgomery to come in and put up RB1 numbers, you're losing it. I saw someone in the Discord message me and they said, I got what's likely going to be the 201 or 202 in 2027 plus a late 27 second. You get 227-2s for Monty, or you get an early 201 in this year's class, go ahead and smash it. But this is a fun trade. I'm taking the Lamar side. I can't believe
me too. I love it too, because I just ran it through the new trade calculator, and we'll talk about that, later down the road, still in the process. But it literally, every single trade we've been doing, I've been putting it through the calculator, and it's like right there is a fair deal, but in favor of everybody that Dad and I have gone with. And it's, it's got our rankings involved with the weighted system. So that's probably why, but that's really cool. I'm going to take the Lamar side as well there. You got to go with it.
Yeah, it's almost a free Monty. It's close, but not quite, but almost free. All right, Borrow 16 with super chat. Thank you. 12-team super flex, 1.5 tight end premium. Quarterbacks, Dak and Goff. He's got Cook, Judkins, Brown, Devonta, Bucky, Etienne, Henry, and White. You got a lot of running backs.
Wow.
And then receivers, stop there. Rome, Bucky, and Etienne. Should he package those up to get Josh Allen?
Dude,
that's the cowbell here.
I mean, Josh Allen's worth in my new rankings, and I have our top 36 Superflex rankings, and then all the way. Actually, I've built it out to the top 14 rounds. Josh Allen's the only guy worth fourth first to me now. Like, that's it. Not Drake May anymore. May's down in that same tier as Lamar and Daniels and Caleb for me. This is close. This isn't even close. Like, Rome is worth a late-ish first. Bucky's worth a mid first. Etienne's worth a late first. You're throwing 3 running backs for the number one player there is. Now, after I do that, that being said, I mean, you have tons of running backs here. I would look to probably tier off Dak or Goff, potentially Goff, because I think Goff has a little bit more value. You trade Goff for Malik Willis plus a second, boom, bada bing, bada boom. You have another high upside number 3. You got Dak and Josh Allen. I think you're ready to cook.
Yeah, I love it as well. I agree there. This is like RB factory right now. Like,
yeah.
Have fun with that. Start insulating some of those RBs, get some wideouts and stuff in there. But yeah, I agree.
All right. Rolando, thank you so much for the super chat. Should he trade his 203 for Travis Hunter, 303, and a 403? Speculation here, but I think this is.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Hunter's. I don't want to pay the 112 for him, but I feel like in a lot of my rookie drafts, I'm gonna from 111 to 203. I'm gonna negotiate deals for Travis Hunter. Because people are just off of it. But Snoog, his talent is phenomenal. If he gets the opportunity back again, which he will, I think this is going to be a steal. I mean, if you after the guy at 103 last year, his value drops all the way to 203. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I'm all over Travis Hunter there for the 203. This was a guy that every single smart mind I know in the fantasy industry had him as a top 3 to 4 rookie pick last year for a reason. He's a superstar caliber wide receiver if he hits his ceiling and they give him an opportunity, which they're gonna, in my opinion. They're not gonna write him off after one injury.
Yeah, I agree there.
Hey, Rob Lowe coming in for the love of the game, best Discord and community hands down. And this just tastes like summertime when you had those popsicles, man. I'm excited about this. Nothing goes better with dynasty trades nothing's more American than doing dynasty trades and just talking shop here. So I love it. We are only into trade number 3, 15 minutes in, 6 super chats, which means we are already going to give away 1 free month of the Patreon, which is a $20 value in the VIP section. So let's hit it up with trade 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think is that the real Rob Lowe? Y'all think?
Yeah, like I was like I loved you in Parks and Rec. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
we just
absolutely.
we get some every now and then where you're like, could it be? But no, I don't think so.
All right. Trade 3, Jay Cuddy from the Discord. We got Drake London and the 105 or Amon-Ra St. Brown, guys.
Snoog, I want you to go first because he asked me this one in the Discord.
Drake London by a country mile, in my opinion. I'm starting to get so excited about the 105 because it's so much cheaper than everything else. And I'm perfectly fine sitting there and taking Tyson, Mendoza, whoever the heck's going to follow me because I'm going to be like, yep, thank you. 105. He was the cheapest pick in the draft. That's elite.
I'm glad you said that because, like, I think the hate on Tyson's gone too far.
Yeah,
I think we just have prospect fatigue where it's like we all had him as the wide receiver 1. And then I mean, it wasn't like he had a bad season, just a little dinged up here and there. I think he's going to be a steal at 105. And if you don't like him and Kenyon Sadiq goes to the Eagles, good God, you're going to get another elite level prospect in that same area here. Another super
who's
chat
starting to give me the vibes of Dad. I feel a lot like he's like a more athletic, more higher ceiling version of Emeka Egbuka is like the vibe I'm starting to get from him. And a lot of people have like that Chris Olave comp for him, which makes a lot of sense. But he was 205 pounds and bench freaking 225 for 26 reps. Like Chris Olave wasn't doing that. Like that's crazy. He's a beast. He's built up.
All right, we got a super chat. Jordan Campos, thank you. 12-team Superflex, tight end premium, rebuilding team. Should he give up Bowers, Patty, a 27-2, and get back Fannin, T-Law, Burden, his own 27 first back? He just picked up a squad with a shaky wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I think the 27
100%.
first of his own makes a world of difference here.
This is the tricky part. And again, we just did 6 different rosters with their, going over the rebuild. And the guy messaged me today. He's like, Dad, I need to rebuild, but I don't have my first. And it sucks. Like it literally adds an extra year by not doing it because this is Jeremiah Smith. If you do this the right way, and Jordan's in the Discord and he's going to do it the right way, that 101, that 27 first is going to be the 101. So you got to look at this way is Bowers and we're looking at Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence isn't a huge gap. Like they're fairly close in there. Bowers and Fannin are probably a gap of a normal 27 first. So like you're almost getting this as if that's a mid 27 first, in my opinion, and you're going to make it the 101. And when you do that, this trade's not even going to be close because Jeremiah Smith is going to be worth more than Patrick Mahomes next year, period. So that's going to make this trade Bowers for Fannin, T-Law, and Burden. Smash. I'm here for it. And that's where you have to disguise it when you're trying to buy that rebuild 101, right? Like if you're doing that, you can't just be like, I need my first back, I'm going to rebuild. You have to come out with a strong offer like this that feels like you're overpaying. But I think you're absolutely winning this one.
Yeah, I agree there. I think whenever you're getting your own 27 first back, it's kind of hard to gauge. Like so many people ask, like, what's that value? If you don't get it back, the person's just going to make it late. So I know it's always like tax as much as you can, but if I can just win and trade outright, like, yeah, it might be early after I trade it, but if it's not traded, then it's going to be late. So it's one of those things that is tough to gauge. Try to squeeze as much as you can. I think I actually I got the 105 and Jordan Addison to give someone the 27 first back. Like, I'm fine with that. I mean, I think that's I'm
it's fair.
In my head, like I'm gonna get Jordan, Tyson, or Mendoza. So I'm like,
you didn't rake him over the coals, right? Like everybody, and I did the same when I did the deal that I did, where I was like, I'm not gonna rake him over the coals, but at the same time, I still have to value it like it's 101 to 104. You know what I mean?
Hopefully, looks like we have works out.
Chris with a fish there with the super chat for the love of the game. Appreciate that. Sully Chad,
thank you for the super chat. Would you rather have Kyler, the 104, and Gadsden, or Garrett Wilson and Kyle Pitts?
Ooh, this is neat. I kind of like this one.
Give me Garrett.
Okay, I might be crazy here. Sean, I want to get your opinion here, but I mean, like, I think Kyler to the Jets is kind of fun. Like, I think that's the rumor that I'm seeing, or Kyler to
the Vikings.
You know, I don't think he's going to go to the Vikings.
I don't think so either, but it'd be nice.
I think he's going to get a starting job. I mean, let's be honest. And when he's on the field, he is a QB1. It's not sexy, right? So I have Wilson worth the 103 right now. So the 103, 104, that's close. So then the next part is, would you trade Kyle Pitts for Kyler and Gadsden? And I think I would. So I think this is a pretty fair trade. What side do you like here? I think it's, if you need a quarterback, I don't mind the Kyler side. I really don't. But I want Garrett Wilson because he's the most secure piece.
Correct. I agree with you there for sure. Like, there's a lot of risk with Kyler, but I think we all know he's going to get signed. He's too good not to.
Yeah, I'm buying. I mean, people in the Discord.
Atlanta would be nice too.
Oh my gosh, that he feels like a dirty bird special. You know what I mean?
He feels like a Falcon. Or
zone read with Bijan, dude. Oh my god.
What if he went to the Rams and like just sat for a year?
He's not gonna. He's not
like, he's not gonna do that.
I don't think he is.
Go play baseball for a year.
Play baseball and Call of Duty for a year. You know
Falcons is the dream spot. If he goes to the Falcons, he's probably worth like a mid-first again.
That'd be crazy.
28 years old.
Here's the deal. You go trade for him right now. You go find any quarterback that's worth more than a 27 first, like slightly more than a 27 first. Get Kyler and the 27 first. I think you cook. Like he's gonna bounce back big the day he signs. And sometimes Dynasty, it's easy to just pick that kind of stuff out, right? Like we know it's gonna happen. Go ahead and do it. It would not be a trade show without this guy. Here we go.
Holy smokes. Thanks for the super chat. Superflex rebuild. Should I I'm thinking he's asking what should I add to get Olave to get the 102?
Not your second, but definitely a second. The tricky part when you're rebuilding, you don't necessarily want to deplete your picks or anything like that. But I do think Snoog, either Tate or Lemon, are going to get a good landing spot, and they're getting 5 years younger by doing this. So I would pay a mid-second, no questions asked. I would pay maybe a pair of late seconds even to move up to the 102. And I know that might seem aggressive, but when you're getting that much younger, I think Tate or Lemon, one of those two is going to be a superstar, and they're going to have great value, and they're 5 years younger than Chris Olave.
Yeah, I think you can guarantee one of them. Like, I think you could argue that if one of them gets the right landing spot, they're going to be a lot more valuable than like Tet in London and those guys. Like there could be like imagine Lemon to like the Commanders at 7 or to the Chiefs at 9. Like he'd probably slide right in there, right behind Lamb and Amon-Ra. It's like the tight end or like the wide receiver 8 in Dynasty, like 21 years old with that draft capital to a team. And they always get screwed with landing spots, and in that case, he wouldn't. So
if they go to a place where they're going to have a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, as opposed to going to a place where your quarterback's Bryce Young and just in purgatory.
Imagine Carnell Tate with Jaden Daniels. That'd be like the perfect match with the deep ball with his verticals. Oh my gosh. Big AJ Green.
Ooh. All right. No Cap J. Super chat. Thank you, sir. Half tight end premium. Should he give up J Ferg in the 105 and the 27 first for tight end 1 Bowers?
It's Bowers, but
where's the 27?
You have to at least if you got the 105, then I feel like you're probably closer to rebuilding, that you should consider looking deeper into your roster. I mean, if this is the final piece, right? When you make a move like this for Brock Bowers, that's a lot of capital. Let's be honest. That's 2 years worth of capital. And Ferguson's a tight end 1. So like, I'm not saying I would trade Bowers for this. You guys saw I traded Bowers for basically, I got Fannin, Kittle, and a 27 first, but I need something that's a little bit more aggressive. The 105 could be a really nice piece. We've been talking about that. I would want maybe another second to get it done. If I'm selling Bowers, if I'm buying Bowers and he's the final piece of the puzzle, then I'm fine. This is about the right value.
I was just going to say, Dad, what would that tight end need to be for you to smash it? Like if that's Laporta, Pitts, are you smashing it?
Pitts, yes. Laporta,
Gadsden?
Yes. Well, it doesn't even have to be a tight end because that you could take Sadiq at 5.
I was gonna say maybe early second plus in value. You would do it.
I have Gadsden worth an early second. I want a late first, so I want 3 first for Bowers. You know what I mean? And I think Laporta. The only guys that are worth a late first to me are Laporta and Pitts. Yeah. I would not want. I don't think Gadsden's enough. Gadsden's a nice high upside piece, but I'm still not sold that he's going to be this iron. I mean, he had 3 games, but then the rest of it he kind of disappeared. So,
Chris with a fish. Thank you for the super chat. Rebuilding here, he has 427 first. Should he trade the 101 and the 206 for Tet mid 27 second and a 28 first?
Nope. No. Snoog. Let's just wipe out the twos, right? So you look at 101 or 10 and a 28 first. If I'm rebuilding,
give me 101.
I don't care about 28 first right now. Like if you're rebuilding in this sense, I don't know why the 28 first don't I know that once the 27 firsts are unobtainable, we're going to really start talking about the 28s, but you're not really getting to a point where okay. That was a lot of thinking there. If I do this, I need to know that there's a Tedderoy McMillan fan somewhere in this league where I can get a 27 first plus burden, so where I could start to tier it down where it's like, okay, I got a 27-1, 27-2, 28-1 and burden. But I want to go down the rabbit hole. Let the draft come to you. You don't have to make this trade. You have Jeremiah Love. The only way you trade Jeremiah Love is if you get wowed to a point where you have to make it, Snoog, right? This is good. If that's a mid 27 first, sure, because I have Tet worth the 102 or above the 102, but I'm not doing it right now. I'm holding.
Yeah, I think it's fair to hold here. I think the value's solid. Jeremiah Love is just going to be so damn valuable. Imagine Jeremiah Love. And I think this is more likely than him falling 9 to the Chiefs or 8 to the Saints, going 3, going 4 to the Titans or Cardinals. Imagine him going 3 to the Cardinals with that offense. He's going to get 280 to 300 attempts in year one, probably in that offense. They're going to cut James Conner. That's going to be phenomenal.
All right, we got trade 4, Wild Bill over in the Discord. Would you rather have Lamar and 2 early to mid 27 twos or Shuck and a mid 27 first?
So he says that both of these mid 27 firsts are 103 to 108. I think this is Lamar, given the fact that these are 2 early twos as well. If you take the twos out of it, I would trade Lamar for Shuck and 2 mid to early 27 firsts. I would do that. But I think this is your last opportunity to do that. But Snoog, I have about 18 prospects. I put in the Discord today, 201 through 205 in 2027. I would take over the 111 in 2026. I don't think people are understanding that. That class is going to be like 2025, 15 or 16 deep, where you're and then in this year, right? Once you and I started doing this, once we get to 109, we're all right, who do we want here? It's going to become clear, but I want those 27 twos.
Yeah, give me Lamar here all day long. I think he's going to be an absolute stud this year, bounce back year. He's just one of those guys for me that's untouchable. And the fact that he's finally very obtainable in leagues, that's when you're going to be buying into players like that.
Yeah, we do have one before this as well, but we'll cover this one real quick. King Tomb, thank you for the super chat. He's doing a 1-year punt, so Dad inspired him to smash 21. Currently has 527 first, 4 seconds, 626 first through round 18. Yeah, it's gross. He has 2 studs in Jaden Daniels and Bowers. Which should I move to try and get more capital?
Neither.
Or should he?
Well,
is it necessary?
At this point, right? With that many picks, I don't mind ever insulating because we're continuing to build out. I think, Snoog, we really came on to something when we were doing that rebuild show where we were talking about having 15 assets worth of first before we start to really push the chips in and say, I'm ready to go. And I think right here you have 11 firsts already in this. If you want to take Bowers and try to get Loveland in a 27 first, I'm fine. If you want to try to take Daniels and get Ward in another 27 first, I'm okay, but I don't think you have to. I'd let it go. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing. When you're done with this, we'll put it in a frame. We'll get one of those Thanos gifts right there in the middle. We'll put all those picks there. This is well done. You're going to enjoy doing a 1-year punt. We got to do a show for that because ever since I posted how many 27 firsts I got, everybody's let's do a show on it. That's great, King.
Yeah, and he can also hold those players for when studs get hurt in the season, too.
100%.
Flip them in. All right, so we got Big Fish Dog with the super chat. Thank you. Stafford and DJ Moore or Kyler in the late 27 seconds?
Give me Kyler.
I'm going to take Kyler. I think DJ Moore gets a bounce back here, though, too. I think DJ Moore, the rumor is the Raiders. But if DJ Moore leaves, I think he's going to bounce back. Yeah. But I think Kyler's worth more than Stafford, even though if you're all in, Stafford's literally the best thing you can do for your fantasy team is just buy him on the cheap. I'm buying him and Malik Willis everywhere. I've been making trades. all week trying to pick up these guys because this could be the last dance for Stafford. He's kind of hinted towards that, but at the same time, that's my favorite documentary of all time. So let's get it going.
All right, trade 5. Christopher R. Norman over on Twitter. Devonta Smith or Aiyuk with no knee, late 27 first, the 208 and the 209.
Like Snoog, he sent me this, and I'm like, I want Devonta Smith, right? But like, I feel like I would want to take out like one of these seconds yet. Yeah. The 208 and 209 don't excite me at all. Aiyuk doesn't really excite me. I know a lot of people are really turned on, like, oh, Ayuk's going to come back. My man hasn't played football for 2 years. It's not like it's like, he had a little injury here or there. And the attitude seems like it's just not, awful. His head's not in football. So I want Devonta Smith, but I feel like this is one, take out the 208 and I'm fine.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. With all this value, I like gambling and rolling with that Aiyuk side, especially if I'm rebuilding.
Oh, yeah.
I think if A.J. Brown gets traded, and I think there's a good chance it happens, I think Devonta Smith's value skyrockets. Like, maybe not in terms of his dynasty value because he's like 27
his
and you know how people are. But he could be an easy 1,400 yard receiver in this offense, and that'd be sick.
JSN-like season, or JSN-like awesome. For sure.
Yeah. All right, trade 6 from Scarface himself. What does Scarface got for us? Would you rather have Sam Darnold or the 111 and a 27 third?
Give me Darnold.
Hey,
it's not pretty, but
Sam Darnold, it's not sexy. I know what he's doing in this league, and he punted his, and kind of the roster looks really nice. Love this here, Scarface, and Scarface gives us a perfect opportunity here to push the Patreon. Scarface is running mock drafts in there on a daily basis. Patreon.com/SmashAccept. We have access to startups, access to orphans. We're doing our own startups, which we have Smash Accept 22 coming up. You can do mock drafts where you can kind of, hone your crafts in here. There's a community of people talking nonstop on top of everything you get from Snoog and I. We're going to throw this in here, and we're not going to be using this too much longer with some of ours, but Vote Commish is he does a lot here at Smash Accept. Really, there's a room in there, just straight up commissioner talk. You use Boat 50, you get 50% off your first month. Give us a try. Honestly, what do you have to lose? At 50% off, that's $250 for the lowest level. Come in for $250. Honestly, we always say it's cheaper than a cup of coffee. That's cheaper than a bagel. We're not even doing bagel. We're not even doing coffee prices.
All right, trade 7. My cock's big. Shout out him.
I'm glad you actually just said it. Every time it comes to Brock, he's just like, Mike. Ox,
You can tell he's humble. He don't want to brag on the air. But would you rather have the 101 Ibuka, Chase Brown, and Gadsden here?
So I'm going to preface this. The next 4 trades are all about the 101, and I think they're either way too much or way too little. Sean, you bring a lot of great insight to things. So I end up talking too much. What do you like in this particular trade?
This one's tough. Gadsden's a guy that I sold for 28 first and extras in the season. I just don't really think he's that guy. But, man, I love Ibuka. Chase Brown showed why he's an RB1 last year. I think if you're ready to push the chips in, I mean, it's hard to say because you probably didn't have the 101 for a reason. Mm-hmm. I like the player side, but I would probably look for different pieces other than Chase Brown and Gadsden, but that's just me. I love the Ibuka pickup, though, for sure.
Ibuka's like the 103, and Chase Brown's like the 106, and Gadsden's an early 2.
Value's there.
If someone came to you today and said, hey, Sean, 103, 106, 202 for the 101, would you do it?
I would.
Right? And I think that's kind of where this trade is. Snoog, on the flip side, and we're going to talk about some of these ones where we keep talking about building out. If I build out, I have teams that Emeka Ibuka is my wide receiver 7, that are just loaded where you're like, all right, so basically I'm just trying to use Chase Brown to upside and get the next Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's really good, but Jeremiah Love is like untouchable for me if I own him right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll with that side all day there, but I love buying Ibuka right now and I love buying Chase Brown right now, but not enough. And it needs to be, like you said, like a lot more than that to get a Gibbs, to get a Bijan, to get a Jeanty, to get a Jeremiah Love. Like those 4, I think are going to just take over as like the main RB pillars like we have at wide receiver right now.
take out Chase Brown and make it a 27 first. Igbuka to 27 first and Gadsden.
I still think it's lacking a little bit. No,
Yeah.
it depends what the 27 first is.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to.
All right, trade 8. Chacky Jan, I like that, over in Discord. Would you rather have the 101, a top 3, 27 first, and then a 28 first, so who knows, or Bijan plus Nico?
Yeah, I put an extra I in there. I love it.
Bijan.
I love the little Chacky Jan. You know, we got a local cover band called John Bovey. You know, little Bon Jovi cover band.
Like that.
So this is an interesting one, Snoog. He sent this to me. He's rebuilding, but the other guy, right? So he's rebuilding himself.
Yeah.
But the other guy who's rebuilding, whose team he says is a dumpster fire, is like, he's like, I want to trade my 20. He loves Bijan. So he wants to give up. We're going to call the roster's horrendous. It's a top 3 lock. So we're looking at potentially a lock in 27, a lock in 28, and the 101. I told him to do it.
You want to know what I'm going to say? Bust out that cowbell for the 101 side because it's not even close. It's not even close for me.
But it's now, I know there's a lot of people are going to come in. They're going to do the damn mystery boat. You know, there could be anything. It could be a boat.
Could be a
boat. I think
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about this, I mean,
Yeah,
even if you
don't
take
know what you're doing.
we did this 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about a mid 27 first gap between Bijan and Love. I think that gap is going to be really small by the time the end of the season. I think we're just going to continue to see
He goes
him move up.
3 to the Cardinals. If he goes 3 to the Cardinals, he's in the same tier as Gibbs and Bijan, but he's just like a baby hair behind them. And I know we said that with Jeanty, but we also didn't expect Jeanty to get put behind the worst offensive line in football. Like Jeremiah Love, no matter where he goes in the top 10, as long as it's not the Jets, it's not going to be in that situation, right? So it's different. It is different this year, so we can kind of reflect on that. But
super chats are flying in.
They're popping. All right. Jabin P. Non-sexy trade. I love this. 12-team, 1 quarterback, non-tight end premium. He's a contending team. Should he trade the 110 for Michael Wilson in a mid-27 second?
Nope.
No. I think so. The 110, that's what you're going to look at. You're only taking out one guy. So that's like the 111 in Superflex. You're looking at it's not sexy. If that was an early 2, I would consider it. But I think Michael Wilson is going to get a little bit lost in the sauce, especially if they take Love. They're going to be very balanced. I think I would keep the 110 right now. I don't see any reason to kind of make that trade.
Yeah. Blue Cave Prods, thanks for the super chat. Caleb or London and the 205. He has Hurts, Darnold, and Shuck. So he's looking to get wide receiver help here.
Snoog, what do you think here?
I'm going to go with Caleb here. And you need the QB help. I would take this trade and then flip Darnold or Shuck for a wide receiver in that range. You know, maybe it's I don't know who's
Waddle.
going in that 7th round, like a Waddle, a Travis Hunter plus. Even if it's like a mid to late first, I'd do it.
Yeah,
It seems like Caleb could be your pillar here.
I would try to flip Hurts if I'm doing this, or I would try to flip Darnold for that. This is just I'm not into trading Caleb. I like London. If that was London, I like London, but I would almost like if London in a 27 or a 28 first, I would consider. But the 205 is just not getting it done for me. And I understand we this is what I got to say here. Blue K is just you're not putting out a team in March. You don't have to make this trade. Just relax, let it go, because I don't think Caleb's value is going anywhere.
Absolutely.
All right, Mitchell Mayberry with the super chat. Thank you. So he's got 8 by 8, 1 quarterback. Quarters RB heavy. He's got Gibbs, Jeanty, Judkins, and Love, the 101.
Oh.
Wide receiver core is weak. He's got Igbuka, BTJ, Burden, Hunter. So young upside there. Should he tear up and sacrifice depth or roll with it? What does he think about targets here
So
if he were to change?
So start 8. We'll take our quarterback and our tight end. They're not listed here. So we got to start 6 guys. And you have Gibbs, Jeanty, 101, Judkins. All right, so there's your 4, right? So now you got to only start 3 out of these guys. Now, I love Igbuka. I think BTJ bounces back. I think Burden's is going to be a wide receiver 2 this year. it really sucks to have the two Jaguars wide receivers, and I didn't think we'd be saying that. Last year, we'd be like, yo, I got Hunter and BTJ, right? Like, that's exciting. But I might try, if I'm going to do this, Snoog, I might try to – they're depressed, though. Like, I was going to be like, sell Judkins and BTJ, but I don't think you can get enough for these guys.
Yeah, I would love to take BTJ in my 27 first with this type of roster and go get a, CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, maybe a Garrett Wilson plus a second, something like that. Like, why not do that and get a heavy hitter? Why, even if you take your 27 first and go buy AJ Brown or go buy T Higgins or buy someone like that to just give you production with a Buka, I don't mind it. Like, right? Like, this RB core is like a Mount Rushmore of an RB core. Like, if you can somehow get Bijan, I think that'd be unbelievable, but I don't think you'll be able to do that. But imagine flipping Judkins plus a bunch for Bijan and then having like the big four.
We're already saying how bad his wide receiver core is. You're just like, let's make it worse.
More
running
back. I have a couple leagues with Bijan and Gibbs, but I don't have any with like all of them.
I have one with Bijan, Gibbs, Jeanty, and A-Chain, but I don't have the 101. So it's like I have some that are like just insane. But for me right now, honestly, if you do BTJ for AJ Brown plus, I'm fine with that. But I would not mess with that running back core. I would say trade Judkins, but his value's depressed because of the injury. I would say trade BTJ, but his value's depressed right now. Like, let this go a little bit, and then I think we roll a little bit more into the season. Mitchell, we love this question. Hit us up. We can dig into it a little bit more here for sure, because I think there's a lot of potential in this roster.
Yep. We got a super chat from, I think this is actually Manu Ginobili with the 20. Shout out
Manu.
The lefty's the best. All right, thank you for the super chat. He has McBride, Fannin, and crafted tight end stacked for him. He's a contender, but my running backs are thin outside of Judkins and Bijan. Still pretty good though. Which tight end should I move off of for picks or running back?
Fannin. I love Fannin, but the fact that you have Judkins as well, I do not want to put too many eggs in that Cleveland Browns offense. So I love Fannin. If you could start all three of these and it's tight end premium, I'm excited, right? Like, I would not mess around with it. I would roll them all out there. Kraft was on his way to becoming Trey McBride light last year, so I'm not trading Kraft. And McBride is just going to absolutely dominate. So if you could flip Fannin and then get yourself a running back right now, I mean, Fannin, I have probably outside of, you could almost get any running back outside of A-Chain for him. I mean, you could probably get James Cook. You could probably get Jonathan Taylor. You could definitely get CMC plus, Saquon plus. I mean, I have him worth the 104, and the only running backs I have over the 104 are just Hampton, Jeanty, A-Chain, and the obvious names. So I would shoot for the stars on this one. Try to see if you got a Fannin guy. You can't rule out, like when people come to me these kind of questions, you say, who should I trade? It varies league to league. You might have a guy who's willing to pay 227 first and Saquon Barkley for Trey McBride. Like, McBride's the guy you float out there, but you just say, hey, I'm looking to move one of these guys. Who's interested? Kraft's the only one I won't move just because his value is lower and I think his production's higher.
Yeah, I agree. I think McBride's the sell here. Like, go flip McBride for what is it going to take to add to bring McBride to get Gibbs, or what can you get for Jeanty or Jeremiah Love? Like, get a heavy hitter like that to pair with Bijan and Judkins. You'll be good to go all day.
All right, Easy Rip with the super chat. Thank you. He's got JD5, Bijan, Judkins, Neighbors, MHJ,
Marv,
Laporta, Garrett Wilson, Smitty. He wants you to rate his team. Let's start there. Rate his team, just based on the players he has.
8 out of 10, maybe an 8.5 for me.
I guess depends if Superflex and all that.
I mean, quarterback's an A, running back is an A minus, wide receivers. Wide receivers is an A minus, tight ends an A minus. So yeah, I'm with Snoog. Probably about a 8.5, something like that.
All right, so he traded the 102 for Marv, Pat Bryant, and a 27 first.
Wow, that's a banger.
Yeah, what do you think? I mean, if you can move Marv if you can move the 102 for Marv and a 27 first, that's an absolute smash. I love what you can get at the 102, but Marv's talent is right up there. I mean, like, if you go prospect for prospect, he's above both Lemon and Tate where he was coming out. It's just he hasn't panned out. And now that Kyler's gone,
Yep.
I mean, this could be huge for Marv. There's a lot of rumors of my man Malik Willis going there, and that just gets me beyond excited right now.
Yep. I mean, he's also 23 years old. He's got time to figure it out. All right, so we got Trade 9, Z Cole, over on Twitter. Would you rather have Neighbors in the 106 or the 101 in an early 27 second?
Now, Snoog, you keep saying Jeremiah Love, but if you don't say Malik Neighbors on this one, I'm coming after you.
It's Neighbors. If that's a 27 first, I'm taking Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, but it's not. That's where I'm like, even if it's 112, I would consider it.
Line.
But yeah, I'm not. I think at 106, if that's 110, it's a different story, right? The 101 is going to get really close to Malik Neighbors in value, but this is winning twice. Malik Neighbors over the 101, and then you get the 106. And this is why I really try to point this out. I have a lot of 101 trades getting sent to me on the daily. This is one where if someone comes at you like this, then I'm willing to sell before draft day.
Yeah, I have a question real quick on this 106. I know we've talked about the 105 kind of being the threshold. After do you think it's going up?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we both have said, I think we have it where one's by itself, 2, 3, and 4 are kind of like a tier, and then there's like a slight mini tier there with Tyson and Sadiq, where depending on landing spot, that could just be one big tier, or they could separate a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think Sadiq has entered that territory.
Do we think it stops at 106, or does it wander a little bit further?
Unless like Omar Cooper goes to the Bills, that's the only way I would even consider making this a tier of 7. Because 7 through 9 is another tier. We like Boston. We like Concepcion. We like Cooper. We like Stowers. So they're going to have some solid landing spots. 11, 12 feels really gross right now. Unless one of the running backs could save this. I mean, but unfortunately the Texans were one of the landing spots. But, Jadarian Price, there's not many starting jobs left. And then you see guys like Aaron Jones potentially getting traded, James Conner potentially getting cut. There's decent names out there that no one's – I don't think the running backs are going to go as high as people wanted to do.
Yeah, I agree. Trade 10 here. Wandering Whites. Would you rather have Knicks and Pearsall or the 101?
101 all day, baby.
I would break my pointer finger hitting that. When you hit the smash accept button, you use the pointer finger, right? Like every now and then you use a different one. You use the thumb, maybe kind of get the middle finger down when you really want to, show somebody up for it. Wow, 2 more super chats here. We're at 21. Our record is 28, and we're flying. We're getting close to it. Let's check it out.
All right, so Captain Active, thanks for the super chat. He said, y'all said take the 201 to 5 and 27 over the 111 and 26, but then said the middle 27 second plus Wilson for 110. Can I clarify?
That was a 1 quarterback league. So the difference there, Captain, is that was what I was saying for Superflex. That trade that he sent in was a 1 quarterback league, and that particular class has at least 3 quarterbacks going in the top 6 of Superflex, which is going to push all those numbers down. So when you take them out of the equation in a 1 quarterback, that changes that 201 to 205, like I was talking about, and moves that up to 110 to 120. See what I'm saying? There's going to be at least 3. I could see 5 quarterbacks potentially going in the top 15 next year. So like that's the biggest difference there to me. Single quarterback this year is basically the same as Superflex. You're taking Mendoza, and then at the rest of the first round up until maybe 12 or 13 is the same. Next year, you're going to see 3, 4, maybe even 5 quarterbacks that are worthy. So I hope that makes sense there. Most of the time when we make references, Snoog and I are talking Superflex. Unless somebody comes at us and says, hey, what do you think in 1 quarterback? Then we change it up.
Yeah. BH417, thanks for the super chat. Wide receivers are London, JJ, G. Willie, D. Smith, 227 first. CD's on a contending team's trade block. Should I go after him or sit tight? He wants JJ plus. Seems unnecessary here.
No, I mean, I like Snoog. Who do you like more right now, Lamb or Jefferson?
JJ.
You do?
Yeah.
So like with Pickens, you're more in that JJ.
Yeah.
JJ's ceiling would definitely be higher. So I don't think there's a reason when you have these kind of rosters, Sean, is like you look at that. That's 3 wide receiver 1s and a wide receiver 2. Is there a reason to go buy another one? But I tell everybody this is you make this trade, right? CeeDee Lamb is coveted by about half the league. 27 firsts are everybody wants them, right? So like
Yeah.
once you trade those picks, they're no more liquid. They're not liquid anymore. You know, like you end up having to trade to a guy that's not what he's interested in, you know, so it changes everything. It's just like on the clock, the 101 is worth whatever to whatever they want. But once you make that pick, or maybe 101's a bad example, 102, once you draft Mendoza, 1/3 of the league is like, oh, I wanted Tate there anyways. I'm going to talk to the guy at the 103.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
It seems like to tinker just as tinker, which doesn't usually work out in your favor.
No.
All right, back to our regular scheduled programming. Trade 11. Dez did catch it. So first of all, rude. But let's go to your trade.
Are you a Cowboys fan?
I am a Cowboys fan. It's been a tough life. But I'm a Spurs fan, so I got that going for me. All right.
He's in Texas, man, of course.
Yeah, I love this trade. Breece Hall or a mid-27 first and second.
Give me the picks. That dude's stuck as a jet.
I gotta ask you. So I gotta ask you this. And I have a tweet ready, and I forgot to put it out there. But do you prefer Kenneth Walker or Breece Hall now that Breece is stuck with the Jets? And Walker, they said Walker is either going to go to Denver, back to Seattle, Kansas City, or Minnesota. Yeah. Like if he goes, I feel like if you look at their stats side by side, he actually has more rushing yards and more touchdowns than Breece Hall. It's just Breece is a better talent to me. But as of right now, I prefer Walker.
Yeah, I love both of them. I got both of them in my home league that it was keepers at the time. Now it's a dynasty, but both of them are like, these are my guys. Breece Hall, unfortunately, for 2026 is in a bad situation. For 2026, it's got to be Kenneth Walker. I think beyond that, I think it goes back to Breece. But 2026, yes, I think Kenneth Walker is going to be in a much better situation.
Because even if they get Kyler, he's never been a guy for dump offs. If they get Ty Simpson, he could be like, I can't. We'll just here's a bunch of dump offs. Let's get it done. Let's get it over with.
They have a lot of missing pieces. I don't feel like they're going to run into the ground, but could be wrong. Trade 12, Coco. Thank you, sir. From the Discord, would you rather have another Hall trade, Hall 201 and an early 27 second, or Monty Aiyuk in a 27 first?
Snoog, this is a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Because I
don't like giving up those early seconds in a rebuild.
Mm-hmm. Because that early second, if it were talking like 201 versus 112, and I've just been saying 201 through 205 are super valuable. I mean, that you really have to adjust here. I mean, the 201, the early two are probably worth the 27 first if it's late. Mm-hmm. So then it becomes Monty and Aiyuk. I want the Hall side here, but I would go out to the guy and just say, how about Hall for the 27 first, though? Like, it's just, if I'm rebuilding, I'm trying to get off Breece Hall. So, I mean, give me Hall and 27 first and 27 second, just like we had right here, and then you're in business.
All right, trade 13. S.A. Bastian F from Discord. Thank you. Jeanty and a 27 second, or Loveland and Harvey. Here, Snoog, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Jeanty here. I think this is pretty solid-ish. I'm not a big Harvey guy. I think Jeanty's valuable over Loveland. You get the second in there. I'm going to take Jeanty here.
I am too, unless this is like start 2 tight end or a 0.75. Then it's 0.75. I mean, if this was Saquon instead of Harvey, I would, I think if I get a guy that I know I'm going to get 100% production, I think the Broncos bring in somebody else yet. They're in the Walker rumors.
Right. What if it is? What is Harvey worth then? Like, is he more? Like
I have him worth the 108 right now.
Guy?
But yeah, he would move into that second round type range.
Yeah, I love the Loveland side, just not Harvey in that.
Mm-hmm.
Trade 14, Jeremy Johnson over on Twitter. Jonathan Taylor, Pollard, and a 28 third, or Judkins and Algier. He is rebuilding.
This is one of those things. I don't care if you're rebuilding. The value is Jonathan Taylor, right? Yeah. Like, I think if we go and we say, yo, you give me Judkins in a second for Jonathan Taylor. Okay, I'm getting younger. I have no problem with it. I think we're at our last sell window of Jonathan Taylor being an elite value as he's 27 years old. But I don't think you're winning this trade. Like, if you're rebuilding, you got to want something that's going to establish you for years. And for me, 27 first, sure, go ahead. But hey, here we go. This is kind of goes with it. 1BH dropped a super chat here. Sean, hot take, trade for Algier before it's too late. Thanks, boys, for all the content, endless questions. Appreciate your help. I've been saying that for a while. I was like, Rico Dowdle, Tyler Algier. We have a show coming out later this week, I think on Thursday, that has all these kind of guys where it's like, get your stashes before they become, like David Montgomery just did. David Montgomery's value skyrocketed overnight. I don't agree with it, but it definitely did just because it had to.
Yep. Trade 15, T-Mac and Dion in Smash League. This is 18. This is the one I'm into, so this was a good trade. Would you rather have Jaden Reed and Trey Harris or Penix, Sanders, and the 304? I think this is the Jatavian Sanders.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I know Snoog gets excited for these, these ones that, and listeners sometimes too, but this is an interesting trade. Oh man, like, dare we invest in Michael Penix Jr.? Like,
I'm going to take Penix.
That's what I'm doing here, but I like Trey Harris too. I do, but I think Penix has a clearer path here. Jaden Reed is really disappointed. I don't think Jaden Reed really has much value at all. Like in startups right now, Jaden Reed's going in the same range as like 211, and I'm really debating it. I do think Trey Harris though has some upside. It's just we'll see what happens here. Yeah, I'm going with Penix there too.
Yep. Trade 16, Caden Diaz in Discord. He's rebuilding with 520. With a lot of rebuilds with 527 first tonight.
Good.
Too late, one mid.
You can tell their listeners.
Yes, absolutely. What's the most you would pay for 104? And I'm thinking, would you even pay for 104?
The mid.
I would do the mid. I would do the mid for 104. I wouldn't want to pay two lates because two lates this year do not equal that because you're going to get two really. I mean, Marsh, Moore, Frazier. There's going to be a lot of good players falling into that late first. So do the mid straight up. No problem with that if you really want to get into the 104 but don't do it until you know your guy's there. Because if you are committed to Lemon or Tate or Tyson, and then all of a sudden they fall back and you don't want Mendoza, you don't want to be in that spot. So don't do it yet. I'm sure you can do it on the clock. The 104 is not really going to rise too much in value.
Yep.
Yo, the
Bruce
Dark Knight.
Wayne with the super chat. Would you rather have Henry in a 27 first or Bucky?
No. Give me Henry. This is what we talk about all the time. On a contender, this is the kind of move I like to make because there is a 100% chance that a 27 first is going to be worth more than Bucky next year. And then you get – I just did my redraft rankings, and I have Henry above Bucky for the 2026 season. So why not? Worst case scenario, Henry gets hurt, and you have a 27 first. Right now, a 27 first can buy you any running back outside the top 10. 11 through 20, you can get whoever you want. So I like that trade.
Yep, I love it as well. Insulated at its finest.
Yep. Captain Active coming back from another super chat. 12-team Superflex tight end premium. Nico, Monty, and McLaurin, or the 104, the 204, and Devonta Smith.
Ooh, that's a banger super chat for the Smitty side.
Yeah, I mean, I like the 104 the same as I like Nico. I prefer Devonta way over the other two combined, so it's a free 204 to me. I think sometimes Nico's an interesting one to value because some people value him as like equivalent to the 101. I don't anymore. I value him more like that 103, maybe 104, depending on what the rest of the trades look like.
Yep. T Diddy Smash League. All right, this one was a banger. Tet and
you guys know about this one
or JSN. I mean, I think in context you have to know your team, which why it's the JSN side, but this is a banger trade.
So let me clarify here. And Snoog, I mean, I think I've said this so many times, you're getting tired of hearing it. When you rebuild, what do we do first? We build it out. Then we build it up. So this particular roster, it's Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Bijan, Jameer, Marion Hampton, Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, James Cook. Then on the bench, I'm sitting there with, I have Tetaroya, Hendo, Waddle, Rashee Rice, BTJ, and then I still have my 111, 201, 27 first, 28 first. It's all still there, right?
It's gross.
So this is what you do, right? When you have an embarrassment of riches, you consolidate and you get the dynasty wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2. You know, I do see it on the other side because he's excited because he's getting 2 pieces and his team has a lot of different needs. But a lot of you guys have been asking about that, and I keep saying just build it out, and then you get to a point where you're like this, and you're like, I have an embarrassment of riches. Let's make it better. You know, did I have to make this trade today? No, but he did say that he had another offer on the table, and I didn't want to miss out on JSN because in this particular league, oh my gosh, I gotta give him a shout out. Sir Pix-a-Lot has won 3 straight Smash Leagues. Wow. This roster has not won a championship. This roster has been number 1 in points, number 1 seed 3 years in a row, and have not won the championship. So I'm like, I'm coming.
And
for you,
he's
big
won
guy.
3 straight.
Not this guy. No, another guy. Yeah, another guy has. Not this particular guy. But I'm like, dude, I gotta win it.
Yeah,
All right.
you gotta beat him.
Trade 18. Rob dropped it from Discord. Different league than a roster review. But would send May, Hendo, and Kraft for McBride, Daniels, Saquon, Milroe, and 302 here.
So first off, we did his roster review last night, Snoog. It was a blast. That show just dropped today. So make sure you guys check that out on YouTube. Snoog, which side do you like here?
It's May, but the upside on the right side looks so much better to me.
You like May?
Yeah,
I mean,
I like May.
I'm going to tell you, I would rather have McDaniels McBride and Daniels than May and Kraft. So then it becomes, well, okay, I see what you're saying.
I was looking at it like Hendo and Kraft for McBride and then May for Daniels and Saquon.
But
basically.
I think this shouldn't be a hot take, but Jaden Daniels is the gap between Drake May and Jaden Daniels should be next to nothing.
Smaller, yeah.
But it will be. And
For
the gap
fantasy.
between McBride and Kraft is a first. So that's kind of how I was looking at it, is like it's going to be in close. Sean, which side do you like here in this trade? Because this is interesting.
Yeah,
I actually like the Daniels side.
Yeah, I'm a huge May guy, but I think the value is on the right side here. I think, McBride and Daniels or May and Kraft, I think that goes to the right side by a large margin. Saquon, Hendo, I think goes to Hendo, but I think Saquon could have a better season. So I think if you're winning, let's go with the right side here.
And get Milroe.
You never know. Shots fired over in Discord. Trade 19 here. Rebuilding. Would you rather have a random 27 first or Judkins?
Rebuilding, you take the liquidity of the first. I like Judkins, but like when you rebuild and you have liquid asset, like we talked about, if anybody wants a 27 first, and also it doesn't score you any points, so you get a better pick yourself.
Yep.
Trade
Tony's
20.
brother.
And Tony Romo's brother. And over on YouTube, James. Would you rather, or actually, what's the line to sell Malik Willis? He has Burrow and Mahomes. So what is he looking to get back here?
Snoog, you know I'm the Malik Willis guy, so I wouldn't sell
111, 112.
I would
want to get a first, but I don't know if anyone are people
I'm
paying
seeing
a first for him.
They are right now. Wait till he signs with the Cardinals.
He's gonna get a
worth
GM fired.
Yeah, do you hold? You got to hold on to him, right? Until
he's gonna
hold him right now.
He's gonna be one of those like fun for fantasy, but he's so bad. Like he was so bad on the Titans, so bad.
But he can run.
I watched him when I went to Tennessee, and it was a revenge game, and I watched the game in person there against the Packers.
He just has like fun arm talent.
He went ham.
So it's fun.
He's got a cannon. He's gonna run for 800 yards.
Yeah.
All right, this has been a fun show. We are going to give away a roster review, and this is awesome, Snoog, because these shows. Honestly, we're booked out for 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks already. But hey, we're excited here. We're going to give that first one away. Snoog, I'm glad you did that a couple of weeks ago, because we always do that last. And then people are like, yo, what the heck? I got in and I got eliminated by getting a free month of the Discord, which is still cool. If you guys win, I'm at Dynasty Dad FF. He's at FF Snoog, or message it on YouTube. Let's crank these last 3 here. So we're actually going to do 4 prizes.
Yeah,
Who's
first
gonna
one's
win
the roster
the
review.
roster
So
review?
let's see who gets the roster review on the show.
Thinking Mike Oxbig.
Is it the real
Rob Lowe?
Is it the real Rob Lowe? Let's go.
It is. It's going to be Rob Lowe.
Rob, bro, that's going to be sick.
Dude,
Rob,
I got to learn his skincare routine.
DM on Twitter. Is he on Discord, Dad?
Rob Lowe? Yeah, he's on everything, man. He's even on Cameo. You can get him to come in and make some announcements for you.
If you're in the Discord, DM me. If not, Twitter. FF Snoog is where you can get
Snoog,
me or get Dad.
You're too young to even understand the Brat Pack, aren't you?
I don't even know who Rob Lowe is.
You don't know Rob? Never seen Tommy Boy?
No.
Dude,
No,
All right,
he's
we're gonna spin it for
Snoog's
free
a fetus.
VIP, 3 month VIP right here.
VIP.
King Tom.
King Toombs.
King Tom. That was
King
that banger
Toombs in
trade.
there, but yeah, I love it. 2 more
All
here.
those
Let's
27
get some new names.
first.
Mitchell Mayberry, he's definitely a new one in there. I'm trying to read it as it's spinning, but
Baby
oh! I did not rig that, I swear.
It didn't.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hey,
Wow, that
Mitchell.
was so close.
That
Almost
was
my boy Manu.
That was sick. Good manifestation.
Dude, whenever we spin this at the end, I get some like Price is Right vibes where you're like, oh, come on, $1, let's get it.
Captain Active, that's a new one.
Yeah,
All
he came
right,
in with
love
2
it.
super chats tonight too.
Nice,
That's
love
awesome.
it. Love to get
Hey.
in the Discord.
Honestly, almost broke our super chat record tonight. Great show. We're continue to come at you live Tuesdays, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Sean, I got to thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Honestly, you're literally like, I mean, who's that backup quarterback? You're like, you jump in Joe Flacco style, like literally
He
come
really
in,
is.
put up equivalent numbers right off the bat, and then they're like, hey, he's just gonna go back. He's gonna. I love when you see clips of Joe Flacco when something happens in the game and he's just like.
Yeah.
Like he's not cheering like game-winning field goals. He's like, I've been there, done that. Sean's like,
Yeah.
we're here. I just jump in.
We got another super chat.
Bruce Wayne did his trade.
Yes,
Let me look which one he had.
the Dark Knight himself. He got Derrick Henry in the 27 first.
Nice. Good insight.
Oh yeah, that's a banger.
Go lock up that ship.
That's the way to do it. That's the kind of trade that saves Gotham. Guys, thanks again for tuning in and enjoy the process. We're getting a little goofy here. Here we go.